Hello, it is Lyon Greggy here, District Governor-elect, your zone chair and your cabinet secretary, doing a video that I'm going to put into the newsletter. I'm trying to get centered here on this thing. Instead of writing something, because I have a little bit to go over and I don't just want to create a novel. I'd like to thank everybody who came to the convention a couple weeks ago. I was not myself. If you haven't found out or don't know yet, my mother, Lyon Wilma, had a stroke. And about a couple days before the convention, she had ordered stuff to make a Chinese auction basket. And it had come in. It was at Menards in Morgantown, and we were going to go up to get it. And I had gone out to the kitchen to retrieve some things. I came back in, and she was sound asleep and snoring. I tried to wake her up, and I couldn't wake her up, and had to call 911, and they took her to the hospital. Now, I'm not going to mention the hospitals, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's a travesty what happened. I'm angry. I am very angry over this. In fact, my advisor, Bob Raphael, told me that, you need to grieve and mourn. There's a time to be angry afterwards. And I get that. I truly do. I really do. But in the state that she's in now, I think could have been prevented. The ambulance takes you to the closest hospital. I guess that's the rule. However, the closest hospital proved how incompetent they were. Instead of terming it stroke, they termed it mental or altered mental state. The doctor ran all these tests. Said, I don't know what's wrong with her. She should be awake. So I hold the medical power of attorney, and that's something I'm going to talk to you about next. And I said, her wishes are to go to West Penn Hospital. That's where her doctors are. He would not honor it. He would not send her. He made up an excuse that the insurance wouldn't pay for it. He made an excuse up that he didn't have a diagnosis. And I said, well, put a diagnosis on her and send her. Little did I know that when you have a stroke, there's a 4-hour window that you can deliver this clot-busting medication to, because a stroke is eventually a blood clot in your brain. And it's called a cerebral vascular accident is what it's called, a CVA. But it's a blood clot in your brain. There's a 4-hour time window that you can deliver this medication to that will dissolve the clot. That never happened. So he kept saying, well, we're going to try this, we're going to try that. I says, I'm tired of you trying stuff. I just want her sent down there. No, he wouldn't do it. My aunt was with me. My cousins were with me, and their mouths hit the floor too. I said, I hold the medical power of attorney. I don't care what you hold. I'm not sending her. Okay. So, I called West Penn Medical Associates, where her doctors are. They are wonderful people. They told me that she's probably going to go to AGH, and it sounds like a stroke. You have to get him to call the transfer number and get him, they'll triage her on the phone, and we'll send up a chopper, or they'll send her down, but she's coming once they make the determination. Okay, fine. I told him, he still wouldn't call. Bringing up again that, the insurance isn't going to pay. And then brought up the idea that we can just put her on the floor upstairs and let her die peacefully. And I hit the roof. I said, listen, I don't want her going to a floor upstairs in this hospital, because we've had run-ins with this hospital before. At any rate, after about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours, you got your wish. I called, but they're going to transfer her to Allegheny General Hospital. This is now, if you remember, I told you about the 4-hour window. Well, this was outside the 4-hour window. And so we're headed down, me and my aunt, to Pittsburgh. And she was getting hungry, and so was I, because we haven't ate all day. And even though I'm on Zepbound, your sugar will crash if you don't eat. So I figured she was in good hands. We'll stop real quick, get something, and eat it on the way down or whatever. I'm paying for this food, and I get a call from the doctor at Allegheny General. Does your mother want to live? And I said, yes, she wants to live. I said, and he says, oh, didn't you know? And I said, no, what? On the way to the chopper, she had a seizure. On the way down, she had another seizure. And her thalamus is damaged at this point, and she's probably not going to recover or not going to wake up. We're going to do additional tests, and we're going to, hope and pray for the best. But at this point, you're going to have some decisions you have to make. And then it came. If she was brought down here earlier or given the clot-busting medication, and I thought, wow. So this is what I'm going to say. This is the state that she's in now. They've kept her for a week. They had her intubated. They thought because if they pulled this tube out, she would have just died right there. Well, she didn't. Her heart and her kidneys, because I have been on her case and she has been seeing doctors and her heart and kidneys are good. But her brain is not. So now we are in a hospice inside Allegheny General Hospital. These nurses have been wonderful. Wonderful. They give her a bath twice a day. Not because she's a mess or anything, but because they want to freshen her up. It's hard to see her like this because she takes a deep breath, waits 40 seconds, takes another deep breath, but she's producing urine and she's doing... So, it's going to be one of these things that Wilma is going to go on Wilma's own time. She's not going to let anybody force her to die. She's going to go on her own time. So we don't know when this is going to happen. It tears my heart out seeing her like this, being that she's my mother and being that I've taken care of her for the last 5 years. The Grindstone Lions Club have been great. They brought up a hospital bed when she broke her hip. They brought up additional things for her. She's gone down to their club meetings when we do our zone visits or stuff like that. The Dunbar Club, they've been wonderful to her. They always talk to her and they always, this and that. Everybody's been so nice. But in a blink of an eye, everything can just go awry. But the problem here is when you take a person to a hospital and you expect them to honor your wishes and it doesn't happen, where do you go to next? So this is what I'm going to tell you as Lions. And I said this at the Dunbar meeting. I said, we all need to advocate for each other. I moved Mom from another hospital system in Morgantown to West Penn Hospital because they were just mistreating her. One threatened to put her in a hospice and said she should give up all her doctors and go to a hospice and just die peacefully because she's 80 years old. Another one gave her, because she had a cellulitis problem in her leg, opened up all these different antibiotics. That ruined her blood marrow. And West Penn Hospital, Dr. Curley down there, was fixing her blood marrow by giving her cancer medications and stuff like that, which are very dangerous, to the point where we had to take classes on how to use the medication before we were able to even get it from the pharmacy. So, it's when everybody has been on one side haphazard, on the other side, everybody has been loving and caring and, everything else. And here's my thing. If you don't have a medical power of attorney, and in this case, it wasn't honored. So yes, I will be seeking legal action after this is all said and done. Because my question is, how many other 80-year-olds did you do this to? Or 70-year-olds, or 50-year-olds, or 60-year-olds? It's really quite frightening when you can't speak for yourself and the person who's speaking for you is just ignored or shoved off or whatever in the name of ego or money. And I really think that's what this was. So that's what's going on with Mom. Like I said, she's in a wonderful place right now, but We were told she is actively dying at this point. So there will be a funeral service, there will be this, there will be that, and it'll be a public viewing and stuff and everything. The Lions are going to the Lions are going to do a service for her, and I've seen the service. It's a beautiful service. And oh, I just got it. Oh, okay. And there are the deacons at the church, because she was a deacon. They're probably going to do a service, and that'll be a beautiful service too. But I will say this, Dad went, and when Dad went, it was because they didn't, in the nursing home that he was forced into, because the hospital threw him out because he just spent too much time in the hospital. Well, they never gave him a bath. And he died of endocarditis. He had dementia. He played with his dialysis catheter that was, going here. It got infected, and he died of endocarditis. The nursing home never told us anything. All we got was a call from the local hospital that he was brought there unresponsive. We're going to treat him, but first we need to give him a bath. That's how these hospitals run around here. And I don't trust any of them. That's why I took Mom to Pittsburgh. I did. I wouldn't even trust them for my own self. So here's what I told the Dunbar Club. We all have to advocate for each other. And because at this rate, at what happened to her, if it happens to everybody, there's not going to be any Lions left. There's not going to be any people left to help, because people like this guy who ignores everything and doesn't do what he's supposed to do, well, it ended up killing Mom, is what it did. Because I brought up the question, we were ushered into another room at Allegheny General Hospital, me and my aunt, and I flipped. And I said, had she been given that, would we be where we're at now? And the doctor just admitted, he says, well, I'm not going to say, and I understand, because then if I do file a lawsuit, I'll say, well, so-and-so said, and he doesn't want to be drug into it. Yeah, I understand that. He said it would have been ideal. Well, that tells me that this guy didn't do what he was supposed to do. So, at any rate, am I angry? That's what I'm angry about. And I told my friend last night, who is a weightlifting buddy, who is stuck by my side, I said, it's not fair to her, and it's not fair to anybody else that this has happened to. And he agreed with me and everything. But, he was like, but you can't rewind the tape and play it back and change it. And I was like, that's true. You can't do it. So pretty soon Mom will go get to see Dad, and everything else. It is lonely around here. It is lonely without having her. It's lonely without, I got her breakfast. I treated her wound on her leg. I've done this. I've done that. I've done the other. And, well, now I have to move on and that kind of thing. So, I am a licensed notary. And here's what I'm going to say. I do have final wishes, these short forms that I got from the Pennsylvania Association of Notaries. It's not a full living will. You still need a full living will. You should go to an attorney and have this drawn out like my mom had hers drawn out. But this could get you by. And the other thing is, once you get it done and once it's notarized, it's law, meaning my hands were tied. She had in her final thing, wishes, she didn't want to be hooked up to machines, and she didn't want a feeding tube, and she didn't want this, and that's exactly what she's lying in a bed. They're giving her comfort drugs, Dilaudid and stuff, to get rid of the pain and reduce the secretions and stuff. She takes a deep breath every 40 seconds, and you can see her neck, the pulse is moving in her neck, and that's all you get now. I mean, like I said, she's unresponsive. She's totally unresponsive. And we're just waiting for her to go, and Wilma will go when Wilma is ready to go. And that's all I have to say about that one. All right, so getting back to this, another thing, if you do get this done and you're at a hospital that uses Epic, which is MyChart, there is a way that you can upload your power of attorney and all those directives to your medical record. That way, when the registration person comes around, if you're in the hospital, and they'll say, well, do you have a medical power of attorney? Do you have? Yes. And you can say, it's all in my medical record. You can upload that. UPMC uses Epic. AHN uses Epic. WVU uses Epic. And you can upload those documents right to your record and everything. I would highly suggest you do that. And then that way nobody can say, well, we didn't know because it wasn't there. No, it's there. They have to hunt it down and find it. But it'll pop right up when they register, okay? So, now, and if you need help with that, and you are going to a hospital system that uses it, and uses MyChart, and uses Epic, and you need help, reach out to me, because I've had to become an expert at this right when Dad's time came and everything, and I was a super expert for it for Mom and everything. So if you need help with that, and also if you need help with that Lines portal stuff, let me know, because one of the goals that we have this year is to get everybody back on reporting. Okay? All right, so I looked at the district directory. The committees, I would like to keep them the same. You know, being that Mom is in the state that she's in, I've been overwhelmed with getting her paperwork done, trying to settle an estate, trying to get the Lions district governor training done, trying to get this, that, and everything else done, trying to get these goals done, trying to get the Orlando thing registered and find out all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot to do. So with this district directory, I would like to try to keep the committees the same. So if you're reading this and you're on one of those committees, please send me an email at liongreggy@gmail.com and inform me, yeah, I'll stay on as that. If you do not want to be on that committee, please tell me too. That way I've got time to go find someone that would like to step up and do that or whatever. Another thing, please, we need a first vice district governor and we need a second vice district governor. And I can tell you, if you really have the heart and soul that you would love to do this, or you would think you would like to do this, please reach out to someone on the cabinet, or your zone chair, or the global leadership team. Okay, we had a little bit of a camera problem there. It actually fell off the end of the thing. So yes, getting back to the district directory, I'd like to keep the committees the same if I could. If you really feel in your heart you'd like to do this, please make the commitment. It's a 1 to 2 year commitment, and then your district governor. The reason why I say that is there's trainings that you need to go to. And to do all of this last minute is really overwhelming. Extremely overwhelming. And the thing is, you need to get to learn who all the other first and vice district governors are, because I can tell you from the RLLI, because there were first and vice district governors at the one that I went to. You get to learn who these people are. You get to communicate with them, you get to collaborate with them, you get to network with them, and you get to find out things that they're doing in their districts and stuff. And if you wait till the last minute, like I did, well, you don't have any of that. And so it makes it good for you to just say, okay, I'll be a second vice district governor and come through and that kind of thing. And like I said, there are going to be conventions. I think next year's is in Tokyo or something like that, or Singapore or something. But at any rate, there are other ones. They seem to have one that's overseas, and then one that's in the United States, and one that's overseas, and one that's in the United States. So, yeah, so please think about that, because the thing is, this district really needs to fulfill those roles. And like the zone chairs, there's going to be a vacant zone chair for this zone Region 3 Zone A because that was me, and now I'm going to be district governor. So there's going to be a vacancy that needs filled there. There's going to be some region vacancies. There's going to be, some other things. So please think about that. And if you can, step up and do it, because the district's not going to grow unless we have people that are willing to step up and attempt to do the work. Is it a lot of stuff to do? Not really. Not really. I mean, it's not something that's going to overwhelm you completely, but it's something that has to be done. And the same people can't just keep doing this. For example, there is a rule that once you're a district governor, you can't go back and you can't go back and fulfill that role again if your district needs you, because they want new district governors all the time. Okay, and that's something that's being debated, because there are some districts that just don't have anybody stepping into that leadership position, and then it becomes a pickle. And they've gotten around it by maybe appointing someone, a past district governor to do that, but that is extremely frowned upon and stuff. But that's the day and an age which we live. So, like I said, if you can step up to do it, please step up to do it. It's not like you're not going to have help. Everybody will help you. Everybody, will make sure you get going and that kind of thing. It's a little bit overwhelming at first, but once you get it organized, I'm an organization freak. I use programs like Trello. I use programs, to flow chart out stuff so I know what I'm doing and where I'm going. In fact, I don't even use the Apple Calendar. I use Fantastical, which allowed me to combine Mom's schedule and my schedule together, download the stuff from my chart. It went right into it, and everything was organized that way. And you can color code different things and that kind of stuff. That software does cost money, but it's like $60 a year for the account or something. It's pretty cheap, but you can put it on your PCs and put it on your phone. So that's what makes it nice, and I use that. Now, my surgery, because of what's going on with my mother, they have moved I'm having a gastric sleeve done. So that surgery has been moved to April the 30th. After that, I will not be able to pick up anything more than 5 pounds for the next couple months. This and that and everything else. I'll have to watch what I eat. I'll have to do this. I'll have to do that. I'll have to do the other. They're wanting me to go back to the gym for cardio only, and that kind of thing. And they said, if you can stand it. It's all laparoscopically done, so we'll see what happens, that kind of thing. You're just going to have to go slow and that kind of thing. The Orlando convention is coming up. I have registered. I have gotten the 2 dinners that I need to do. There's going to be a parade of nations. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. Hotel information, I haven't found out anything else out. I'm waiting for the state to get back to me on, I heard that they all stay in one hotel and this and that, and there's a packet and everything. But see, I would have known that had I taken the first and second vice district governor trainings. I didn't do that because I wasn't planning on being a district governor at that point in time. But now that I am, I've missed those sessions, so they're going to have to send me the packet or do something. I'm sure they will. It's just stuff that you have to get caught up on. The state convention is coming up. I probably will not be attending that. I already got it cleared through Cindy Gregg and Carrie and M. McKnight because of the surgery. What's going on with Mom, I don't know what we're going to be like there. They told me at the hospital that this could last a couple days. It could last a month. And I'm like, wonderful. I mean, I don't want to see her die, but I'm tired of seeing her suffer. But at any rate, she's going to go when she wants to go. And I have no say so in that whatsoever. So that's why my surgery date was moved to the end of the month. And after that, it's going to be recovery point, a lot of soreness, a lot of emotional stuff going on. And then we have the Orlando convention, and then we have our banner exchange meeting and that kind of thing. So, yeah. So, at any rate, that's what's going on with me. This is why I wanted to do a video over this, because I wanted to tell you what was going on now. I haven't talked to too many people since the convention, when I had several nervous breakdowns. Because Mom has helped me through all of this. She helped me get the green coat. She helped me do the stuff, some of the training. She's helped me do other things. And I wanted to keep her in the loop and keep her involved. She's been one of the backbones for Old Trails Lions Club. She's been the secretary for so many years. And that kind of thing. They got her a Melvin Jones. I mean, and all this other stuff. So everybody loves Wilma, you know, and everything else. And this is going to be hard on a lot of people. So, at any rate, this is Greg. I'm getting ready. Sorry for the hair, bad hair day or whatever. I'm getting ready here because I have to pick up my aunt. And then we're going to head to the hospital. So, and stay down there till about 7 or 8 o'clock. And then leave there. So, yeah, that, as they say, is that. If you want to contact me at liongreggy@gmail.com. And we'll talk to everybody a little bit later. See ya.